श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विशेषे भवरोगिणामधे सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमामस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कविद्वयं बहुफलसारभक्षितं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। व्यासम् अष्टनप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मनं वन्दे जगदातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मदेवासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So Pandavas were in Virata, Matsya kingdom, and Arjuna with Uttara went to face Kuru warriors, right? So he faced Karna first. He rescued all the cows, and then he faced Karna, and Karna was defeated. Karna ran away. His brother was killed, and then uh, Arjuna identifies all the Kuru warriors, right? But who are all coming there? Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, Duryodhana, Karna, Vikarna, and all the other warriors that came there. He identifies everyone and informs Uttara that these are the people that have come here and we need to face them, right? So we shall see what happens next. So after introducing, explaining who is who, Arjuna tells Uttara that now go towards Kripacharya. In that he's there on the southern side, whose flag has a bear with the golden altar in it. So go towards him. And hearing this, Uttara immediately turns the chariot, and he is very good charioteer, and he goes towards Kripacharya. And again, it is not easy to go in a battlefield from one place to another, because you will have all the soldiers and everybody attacking you, right? So Uttara turns the chariot around, doing sometimes wheeling about, so, and then sometimes proceeding in like a circular mazes, and then he turns left, right, and like that he makes his own way, and Arjuna clears the path for him, and with that he reaches Kripacharya. And once he reaches Kripacharya, Arjuna blows his conch shell, Devadatta, and with that it sounded like the entire mountain splitting across. It made a huge sound, and with that all the Kuru warriors, everybody became very much, they could not bear that sound, and they applauded that sound that came across from that Devadatta conch shell. Hearing this, uh, Kripa starts blowing his own conch shell, and then both with that as well, and he strings his bowstring and makes a huge noise from that as well. And with that, Kripacharya starts sending arrows towards Arjuna. He sends 10 arrows towards Arjuna, and with that, Arjuna breaks those arrows with his own arrows releasing from Gandiva. And Kripacharya again releases another hundreds of arrows, and Arjuna again releases more and more arrows, and like this they start breaking each other's arrows one after another, cutting across hundreds and thousands of arrows, each falling on the ground and making a huge noise in each of those combat they were having. Kripacharya again Arjuna releases hundreds of arrows towards Kripacharya. Kripacharya becomes very angry, and he releases 10,000 arrows towards Arjuna. And Arjuna immediately cuts all those arrows across, all those arrows that Kripacharya is sending him. And then he pierces the uh, uh, horses of Kripacharya with 4 arrows. The 4 horses were killed by Arjuna. Immediately, with that, suddenly, those horses falling on the ground, Kripacharya suddenly wobbles from his chariot and he's thrown out of that chariot. Arjuna immediately, as part of respect to Kripacharya, he stopped releasing more arrows towards Kripacharya, attacking him at that time. Kripacharya then takes up another bow and comes another chariot and releases 10 arrows towards Arjuna. And immediately, Arjuna cuts his bow into pieces with an arrow. And he then cuts Kripacharya's armor he is wearing, cuts that across. But Arjuna did not wound Kripacharya. Out of respect, he did not, because he is Kaurava's guru. He did not, and a Brahmana, he did not injure him. And then again, Kripacharya, once more, he takes up a bow. Arjuna again cuts it across. So, like that, Kripacharya takes one after another bow, and Arjuna keeps cutting it across. So, like that, every bow that he takes, he cuts across. Then immediately, Kripacharya takes a huge javelin and throws it towards Arjuna, and Arjuna cuts it off with 10 arrows, releasing 10 arrows and cuts it across. Then again, Kripacharya, Arjuna continue to fight like that. The battle continues, and Arjuna releases 13 arrows towards Kripacharya. Out of that, he cuts off the string, the rope that was holding that horses in with one arrow. He kills the horses with 4 arrows, and then he kills the charioteer with sixth arrow, and then another 3. He cuts the bamboo pole which was not there on the Kripacharya's chariot. He cuts that across with that, and then uh, he kills. Sorry, he hits with 3 arrows the Kripacharya, and then two with 2 arrows it cuts the bamboo pole, and then the wheels, and then the 12th arrow he cuts across the Kripacharya's flags, and then he with the 13th arrow he pierces Kripacharya in the breast. So with that, Kripacharya wounded, he falls down on the ground, and then uh, even then he takes up a mace and hurls that towards Arjuna. Arjuna with the arrows cuts that mace across, and soon Kripacharya's soldiers who are surrounding, protecting him, they come and trying rescuing Kripacharya. They take him away, and from that battlefield, they can take him away because he was severely wounded by Arjuna. So they take Kripacharya away from Arjuna. And then Uttara, taking the chariot, performs different maneuvers with the chariot, and he performs a maneuver called Yamaka, and to withstand all those soldiers attacking him. And then he looks at Arjuna to where to take next. And then seeing Kripacharya sent away like that, Drona comes there. Drona starts coming towards Arjuna with his red horses and having golden altar resembling a fire, and with numerous flags on his chariot, he comes there. Arjuna, looking at him, says that there Drona comes, and he's highly trained, very having a very pleasant face and very good facial hair he has, and that Drona comes here, and Arjuna explains the respect he has for Drona. He says that Drona's prowess strength is celebrated all over the world. Even Devatas are afraid of him, and he is in intelligence. He is same as Shukracharya, and in knowledge, he is like knowledge of morality. He's like Brihaspati himself, and he's conversant with all the 4 Vedas, and he practices brahmacharya vow. So that Dronacharya has all the celestial weapons in him, and entire science of releasing and holding those celestial weapons, withdrawing them, everything he knows that. Forgiveness, self-control, truth, and ahimsa, and good conduct, all these things always in Dronacharya. And Arjuna says that I have to fight with him now, so take me towards him. So Uttara then turns the horse towards Drona, and Drona also desiring a combat with Arjuna. comes towards Arjuna and blows his conch shell ahead of this encounter. And Arjuna, both Drona, Guru, Shishyas, they come face to face to each other uh, in a battlefield. And then looking at him, Arjuna salutes his Guru and then does his namaskara. And then he says that we have completed our time in the forest, in the woods for 12 years, and the 13th year also has been completed. Now I am here to take all the wrongs that has gone for us. I have to do the correct those things. So even you are invincible in battle, so there is nobody can win you in the battle. So I am not going to fight with you unless you strike me first. So I'm not going to release my arrows towards you if you're not. Oh, I will do it only if you do it. So he says that he's kind of asking for permission from Drona to fight with his guru. So with that, Drona releases 20 arrows towards Arjuna, and Arjuna immediately cuts those arrows across, and then Drona covers Arjuna's chariot with thousands of arrows, and Arjuna again uh, cuts all those arrows with stone wetted, so the tip of the arrows with stone. Those arrows he releases and cuts those arrows coming from Drona. Like this, Arjuna and Drona, both of them start releasing, continue with the battle, releasing thousands and thousands of arrows from one another, and they both fight, and the entire sky covered in the arrows. So it feels like one. All the celestials, devatas, everybody assembled in the sky started saying, well done, and they are all praising Arjuna, and they are all praising Drona, and the warriors, everybody assembled, soldiers, everybody assembled there. All of them were praising that battle that taking place between Drona and Arjuna. Drona again, so releases multiple different types of celestial weapons towards Arjuna, and Arjuna counters all of them. And similarly, Arjuna as well releases a lot of celestial weapons, but again, Drona counters them. So the arrows between them facing each other, hitting each other, the arrows, and then breaking it, it makes a huge noise like bamboos splitting in the fire. And Drona again covers the entire sky with arrows, and Arjuna counters that, cutting all that across, and then releases his sword. So it's felt like Indra and Vritra previously had the battle, just like that Drona and Arjuna were fighting. But then again, Drona, looking at Arjuna with affection, he it releases those arrows playfully, with smooth and straight arrows. So he did not try to harm Arjuna. He was testing Arjuna, but even then he released the weapons like Indra's weapon, Vayu's weapon, Agneya, and things like that, Agni's weapon, and things like that. Those weapons were released. All that were countered by Arjuna. So both of them continue to battle, and seeing both of them, while they were fighting like that, Ashwatthama, the Arjuna releases a huge number of arrows towards Drona and covers entire his chariot, charioteer, horses, everything is fully covered, and Drona could not take control of that situation. So looking at that entire, so he Ashwatthama comes to rescue Drona, and he comes there, even though he admires Arjuna's bravery and things. So he comes there looking for to rescue his father. And Ashwatthama comes there, and he immediately releases, starts fighting with Arjuna. And this Ashwatthama again, he's very skilled, just like Drona. He's skilled in the battle. He has all the celestial weapons. The only difference is Drona is fully versed in morality. Ashwatthama has not that level of control over his self-control. So that's the only difference. But he has all the weapons, and he cuts off Arjuna's Gandiva string. So not many people can do anything harm to Gandiva. Arjuna immediately strings again that Gandiva bow again, and then he moistens that string with his sweat that's pouring through his forehead, and then he prepares again to counter attack. So he releases again. Ashwatthama and Arjuna's battle continue for a long time, and thousands of arrows released. But because Arjuna had two arrows which were given by to him during Kandava, burning of Kandava, that time he had those two arrows that never exhaust. So they always come back to him, and so that's why his arrows never ran out. But on the other hand, Ashwatthama, after so long battling with Arjuna, he ran out of arrows, and with that, Arjuna moves away from Ashwatthama. So Ashwatthama did not have anything to fight with Arjuna. He ran out of arrows, so Arjuna then moves away. So seeing this, Karna strings his bow and makes a huge noise of his bow. And looking at that, Arjuna tells Uttara that go towards Karna, and Karna comes across Arjuna. And Arjuna then tells Karna that time has come now for you to do what you always said you are going to do. You said you are going to defeat me in a battle. Now do it. You always said harsh things about me and my brothers and everybody. And similarly, you also said outrageous things to Panchali in that Dyuta Sabha. So now face the consequences of all those things. And Arjuna says that because of morality, I resisted before taking any action against you, but now you look at me. Look at all those things and reap all those fruits of your actions now. So Arjuna challenges Karna like that, and Karna says that don't speak just your words, you speak more than what you do actually. So you don't do much and you just speak a lot, and you have spent so many years in the forest life like an Rishimuni, and you don't have that strength that I have. Even if Indra comes along with you, I'm going to defeat you in the battle now. You look at my strength today and you will experience my strength today. Arjuna says that you already ran away from me once in this battle today. So you are talking as if you are going to defeat me now with a new energy. And you saw your brother being killed by me, and still you ran away from the battlefield. Don't speak too much, start fighting with me. And immediately, Karna and Arjuna start having a huge battle. And again, both are equal in the weapons and celestial weapons and things like that. So they fight each other. Arjuna cuts off Karna's quiver, and then immediately with a sharp arrow he cuts off, and then Karna injures Arjuna's hand. With that, Arjuna's Gandiva hold loosens, but then Arjuna again cuts off Karna's bow. Like this, they battle each other, and finally Arjuna kills Karna's horses, and then with that Arjuna also pierces Karna's breast with an arrow, and taking that arrow in his chest, Karna faints, and his senses he faints and he loses his consciousness. Immediately, the charioteer takes him away from that battlefield. So, like this, Karna leaves that battlefield. Looking at him, Arjuna says that. So Arjuna tells Uttara that now take me towards Bhishma. So he waits for me there. So go take me towards Bhishma. So Kripacharya is done, Drona is done, Karna is done, Ashwatthama is done. Now go towards Bhishma. So they Uttara takes him towards at that time Uttara says that I'm very tired. I'm very tired of from this battle, moving around in this war. I am looking at all the blood, flesh, everything that's everywhere, and on this conch shells blaring and the elephant screech, elephant's noise, and the Gandiva like a thunder making noise every time you release an arrow, making such a huge noise. From all this, I'm losing my sense. everything spinning in my eyes. So the entire world is spinning. I'm feeling very giddy. I can't see anything. I sometimes look at you. I fail to see when you actually take up an arrow, when you fix it on your bow, when you release it. I don't know. You do it so quickly, and my senses are lost. I'm complete. I can't see anything. I can't do anything. I'm feeling very giddy. And Uttara says, listening to this, Arjuna says that don't fear. Uh, you are born in the Matsya's brave Matsya kingdom as a prince, and uh, you are a prince of the Matsya kingdom, and you are son of Virata. So don't worry. Take me towards Bhishma's division, and I will fight today. And I will fight with those people who have done all the things to us, and I will fight alone with all those people. Arjuna gives here a lot of courageous words to Uttara. He says that in the olden days, at Indra's command, I killed Pulomas and Kalajangas in the battle, and I have firmness in my hands obtained from Indra, lightness from Brahman and from Prajapati. I have killed, defeated all those across the ocean. I defeated 60,000 car warriors in the Hiranyapura. I have done all these things. So don't worry. Let's go and face Bhishma. I have Rodra weapon given me by Shankara himself, Varuna from Varuna, Agneya from Agni, Vayu from Vayu, and Indra has given me Vajra, his Vajra weapon. So I will remove all these, exterminate all these Kuru warriors here, Dhritarashtra's warriors here. So don't worry, take me to Bhishma. And the once Arjuna reassures Uttara like this, Virata son takes him to Bhishma, and Bhishma cheerfully welcomes Arjuna, and Arjuna again saluting Bhishma, and then the battle starts. He cuts off Bhishma's standard, the flag hosting thing. So, and then immediately with the arrows, he cuts off that. Looking at that, immediately Dushyasana, Vikarna, Dushaha, Vivingsati, they all come there, and they all come to protect. They all around Bhishma, protecting Bhishma. So they all come and start facing Arjuna. And Dushyasana first pierces Arjuna with a crescent-shaped arrow, and immediately Arjuna cuts off that with a sharp-edged arrow, and then he cuts off Dushasana's bow, and then pierces, injures Dushasana in his breast, and Dushasana immediately leaves that battlefield, runs away from there. Vikarna again comes there, and with his straight arrows, he attacks Arjuna, and Arjuna again hits him, also hits him in the forehead, and then with that, he falls down on his chariot, and then he was taken away. Then Dusya with Vivingsati comes there, and Arjuna pierces, injures both of them with his sharp arrows, and he kills the horses of both of them immediately. The soldiers around them immediately take them away from to safety. So like this, so the protection that Bhishma had, all of them uh, were defeated by Arjuna. Then all the Kuru warriors, everybody united together, they start attacking Arjuna. From all directions, they start attacking. Arjuna alone, single-handedly, starts facing all of them in all the directions. One after another he faces, and then battles. He releases the arrows towards in all the directions, all the 10 directions. He releases the arrows and covers the entire area with his arrows. And the field soon, all the soldiers and animals, elephants, horses, everything died there, and it soon covered with all those dead bodies of the warriors, Kuru warriors, the elephants, horses, and things like that. So the it was everywhere on that battlefield. You could see the severed heads of the soldiers and the warriors that came from the Kuru urban, with all of them fully dressed with earrings, necklace, and everything. Some of them just bodies there, some of them without ears, some of them without noses and arms or legs and things like that, cut across by Arjuna with his sharp arrows. So, seeing all this, Duryodhana comes there, and he comes in starts facing Arjuna, and in the presence of Duryodhana, everybody became Kuru warriors. All of them became very dispirited by this Arjuna's strength and his courage. Then the battle continues. All of them together still continue to attack Arjuna, and with the soldiers, animals, everything that's died there, huge river of blood starts flowing, and in that river everything starts flowing, all the dead bodies, the boat, the chariots, the bows, arrows, and the flesh of the animals, everything, the coats, the cover, the armor, everything that they had, elephants were floating in that blood, the marrow and the blood, everything that was there. It was terrible to see. The Rakshasas and the cannibals came there, start and eating all those things. Similarly, the vultures and other animals start coming there and eating all those things. So it was a horrible, terrible scene to see. But Arjuna did not stop and still continued to fight all of them. And looking at this, Bhishma again, once again taking up his bow, starts challenging Arjuna and faces Arjuna, and both of them have a huge battle. Arjuna first receives him with uh, receives him with gladly and worships him, and then he starts fighting with Bhishma, and both of them, Arjuna, Bhishma releases the arrows towards Arjuna's flagstaff, which is the banner, and towards that he releases the arrows, and Arjuna releases with with a mighty javelin. He cuts across Bhishma's umbrella, and then he cuts across his Bhishma's flag, and then he removes his horses, and then he releases arrows towards the charioteers, the drivers, the protected, that those who protected Bhishma on the sides. So the battle between Bhishma and Arjuna continues for a long time. The celestials, devatas, everybody watching that were amazed by the battle that took place between them. Even though Bhishma was very old in the age and Arjuna young, he was still withstanding and causing trouble to Arjuna. And both of them fighting at each other, all of them looking at saying, excellent, excellent. This war battle between Bhishma and Arjuna is great. And they were thinking, okay, apart from Bhishma, who else can face to Arjuna? This Arjuna is only can be faced by Vasudeva Krishna himself or Drona. Nobody else can face Arjuna apart from Bhishma. And they were talking like that. All of them, devatas, were looking and they were saying, bravo, this Arjuna, bravo, oh, bravo, Bhishma. Oh, they were praising them, looking at the battle. And then Arjuna cuts off with an arrow, sharp arrow, Bhishma's bow. Immediately, Bhishma takes up another bow, and Arjuna cuts off that as well. Like this, continuously he cuts off the bows Arjuna Bhishma was taking, and then so Arjuna uh, releases a sharp arrow towards the charioteer, and then that with all the warriors that surrounded Bhishma, they all were dead by Arjuna. And seeing all this, Arjuna releases again more and more arrows towards Bhishma. And again, the arrows, devatas, everybody looking at that, this Arjuna, the Arjuna's battle here, they single-handedly facing all the Kauravas and Bhishma leading that battle. They say that this Partha is releasing arrows in a continuous line. That means there is no gap. He continuously, without any break, he is releasing those arrows. There is no time for him to take the arrow and then fix it and then stretch his Gandiva and release it. So he does it so quickly that one after another arrow goes in a straight line, one after another. And while this battle continues between Bhishma and Arjuna, Arjuna really injures Bhishma with 10 arrows hitting Bhishma's chest. Immediately, with those arrows hitting his chest, Bhishma slightly loses his balance and consciousness, and he holds onto the pole in his chariot, and he loses his conscience. Immediately, he was taken away to safety by his charioteer. So immediately, seeing Bhishma taken away from the battlefield, Duryodhana comes across and he faces Arjuna, and he in, releases a sharp arrow towards Arjuna and injures Arjuna in his forehead. Immediately, blood starts flowing from Arjuna's forehead. But then Arjuna, getting very angry, he starts attacking Duryodhana. And Duryodhana, uh, he was supported. Duryodhana was supported by Vikarna, and Vikarna was struck by Arjuna in the head between the temples. He releases with the arrows, and he releases him, and then he trembles and falls to ground. And then Vivingsati comes like that, and he is also injured by Arjuna, and then he injures Duryodhana in the breast, releasing new fresh arrows, sharp arrows towards Duryodhana. So Duryodhana, with that injury, starts running away from the battlefield. Looking at him, running away from the battlefield, Arjuna calls him out, saying that you are sacrificing your fame and glory and everything, and you're running away from the battlefield. Is this your strength? You sounded, you came here for a battle and you're running away. And he challenges, he laughs at Duryodhana. He says that I am Yudhishthira's servant. I'm third son of Kunti. I'm here for the battle. Why are you running away? And Arjuna makes mocks at Duryodhana running away like that. And hearing this, Duryodhana becomes very angry, and even though he was injured with or by Arjuna's arrows, he starts turning back and starts again going towards Arjuna to face him up again. Looking at this, immediately Karna comes to support Duryodhana. Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, Vivingsati, Dushyasana, everybody, all of them again come back again, start uh, attacking because they want to protect Duryodhana, because they realize that if Duryodhana goes back again, Arjuna is not going to let him uh, free. So they all come back and start protecting Duryodhana. And looking at this, all of them coming towards, and with the celestial weapons in his hand, Arjuna starts facing all of them, and then he releases an arrow weapon given by Indra called Sanmohana. He releases that arrow, and with that arrow, once he releases, all the Kuru warriors, they lose their senses. So they are kind of, through a illusion, they all they lose their senses, and they kind of fall asleep. So they could not see, they could not do anything. And immediately Arjuna blows his Devadatta once more, and with that, all the Kuru warriors and soldiers, everybody faint. And then Arjuna tells Uttara that now all of them are uh, not fighting. Go and take their garments. Take garments from Drona, Kripacharya, and Karna, that blue one, handsome one from Ashwatthama as well. Take all that, but don't take from Bhishma, because I know that this weapon I released definitely cannot uh, do any harm to Bhishma, and Bhishma knows how to counter this weapon, this celestial weapon I have released. He is probably just respecting that weapon I have released, and that's why don't insult Bhishma by taking his upper garment. So with that, Uttara gets off his from he leaves the horses and reins of the horses, and he jumps out of the chariot and goes and takes the garments of Drona, Karna, Duryodhana, Ashwatthama, and other warriors except Bhishma, and then comes back and takes the reins again. So with that, Arjuna tells Uttara that let's turn back. So the battle is over. Let's turn back. Bhishma, saying Arjuna, then Bhishma then wakes up and looking at Arjuna going away, he strikes new arrows, releases fresh arrows towards Arjuna. Arjuna again kills, releases, turns back and fights Bhishma, kills his horses, and injures Bhishma with 10 sharp arrows. And then Bhishma uh, his charioteer dead, he could not do much. And Dhritarashtra, seeing all this, Duryodhana, seeing Arjuna standing there like Indra himself in that battlefield alone, and none of the Kuru warriors holding their bow or any weapons in their hand, he tells Bhishma that how can we let him escape? How can you let Arjuna escape like this? He starts blaming Bhishma that you did not uh, fight. You let Arjuna escape from this, and then Bhishma smilingly tells Duryodhana that where were your senses when Arjuna took your upper garment and defeated all the warriors here? Where were your senses? Arjuna did not act uh, anything atrociously. He did do he did what is right. So when you were unconscious, he could have killed you, but he did not do. So he so now go back to Hastinapura. Let Partha go back to where he came because he has conquered us. He has conquered he got his cows back, which is the reason he came here. So go back to Hastinapura because this battle has been won by Arjuna. And he says that you should always do one that is good for you. So the good thing for you now is to go back to Hastinapura. Don't foolishly go away and fight again. Start calling Arjuna again for another fight. So listening to this and already injured very much, Duryodhana thinks a little, and then Bhishma's advice taking that, he starts heading back to he decides to head back towards uh, Hastinapura. And seeing that uh, all the Kuru warriors are ready to depart, Arjuna releases with very cheerfully. He follows them and he worships anybody elders like Bhishma, Dronacharya, and he respects Dronacharya, Kripa, and then Ashwatthama as well. He gives respect to them, and then he with the with beautiful arrows he goes does worship them, and then he releases one more arrow towards Duryodhana's crown and breaks that crown into thousands of pieces. And after that, he blows his Devadatta one more time, and then he tells Virata that now let's head back to turn the horses towards Matsya city. Let's go back to the city because your uh, objective has been whatever the reason we came here that has been achieved. Let's go back because your cows have been rescued, Kaurus have been defeated. So let's go back now. So he tells Uttara, and with that, Uttara uh, uh, starts turning his back, and Arjuna says that uh, on their way back, see uh, they see a lot of Kuru soldiers who ran away earlier from the battlefield. They were in that forest hiding, and they ask for Arjuna's protection, and Arjuna says that you go away. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to kill you because you're not fighting. And then they all praise Arjuna for his uh, righteous things he does. And then they head back to those soldiers head back to Hastinapura. And then Arjuna tells uh, uh, that the Uttara tells Uttara that it is only you know that we are living here with your father, all Pandavas. So when we go there, don't tell anybody that we are the Pandavas. And Uttara agrees to that. And then we'll see what happens when they return. We'll see that next time. Any questions today?